Hello and welcome to this video series where I pit two randomly selected games from my game collection against each other. And well, with this series, I never know what two types of games I'm gonna get. What series they are, what genre they are, if they're a good game or a bad game, or even if I played them before. And with 777 games still yet to be chosen, I don't know what I'll be getting. Although I will say once again that not every single game on this list will be eligible for one reason or another. But with that all said, there's still going to be a good chunk of games to go around. So let's spin this wheel and see what we get. And now for the second spin. And there you have it, our two randomly selected games for this video. Sonic Colors for the Nintendo DS and Spark the Electric Gesture 2. So starting off here, Sonic Colors for the DS. This is a game that I have played before, but since I have no way of recording gameplay footage off of my DS, this footage is not mine. Just wanted to get that out of the way. Now as for the actual game itself, this is a port of the Wii game, which is often considered as one of the best 3D Sonic games. And while having played that version as well, I can say that it is a good game and that I liked it, but I don't really love it. So much to the point that I'd actually say I prefer the DS version of this game over the Wii version. And I don't want to go into all the comparisons on why, but I just do find this to be the better version of the game. But the main stuff I'll hit is that I don't think the Wii version of this game does 3D all that well, and I think this game doing 2D is like bread and butter for Sonic. The story feels a bit more alive and active, as it's not just like an empty theme park with Sonic and Tails only in it. You actually bump into other characters and end up doing like side missions for them. The Chaos Emeralds are in this version of the game, as well as Super Sonic to unlock, and the special stages that you do are genuinely some of my favorites of the whole series, with you controlling Sonic on a half pipe with your stylus, and making sure he collects the right colored balls. And finally, the final boss is just better overall. And then there's just some general stuff like this is the game that introduced the Wisps, which are fun to play around with. And the two consolation prizes I'll give to the Wii version is that obviously this being a portable game, the sound and the graphics aren't going to be as good as the home console game. But that's all I gotta say about this game. So with that all out of the way, let's move on to my second game here. Spark the Electric Gesture 2. And well, what this essentially is a 3D Sonic fan game that became its own thing. And that alone made me want to play it. Since you always hear about 2D Sonic fan games, including the first game in this series, and you never hear about a 3D one. And well, if I'm being completely honest, this is a situation where the fan creation one-ups the original thing. This is one of, if not the best, speed-based 3D platformer I've ever played. At least in my opinion. I think the third Spark game is considered better, but I just like this one more. But honestly, this is just a very fast, high-octane, and really fun game. The levels are really well designed, you gotta make like split-second decisions in order to keep your speed up. The game encourages you not to take the main path, but to explore around to find better routes. The game has awesome music, although I will say that one criticism I have of this game is that this series is built around you getting different costumes to get different abilities from them. And I'm pretty sure when compared to the first game, there's significantly less costumes in this game, which I assume has something to do with the series going from 2D to 3D. But that one minor complaint aside, this is still a great game to play. And that's really all I gotta say about it. So that brings us back to the question of which of these two games would I rather play? And to start off, this is a somewhat surprising scenario to get into, with a Sonic game going up against a game that was inspired by Sonic. Although unfortunately the luck of the draw made it a 2D Sonic game versus a 3D fan game. But with all that said, although I do believe that Sonic Colors on the DS is a good game, even better than its Wii version, I would say that Spark 2 is the better game, the more funner game. And for those reasons I would choose it over the DS version of Sonic Colors. So congratulations to Spark the Electric Jester 2, you have beaten a pretty decent opponent. And that concludes the video. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you next time to see which two games will be randomly selected next. Bye for now.